Hey cool people, I'm Nick, I'm a he, him, and today we're doing more Kingdom Hearts Final Mix math. Pull out your number 2 Ticonderoga pencils, a TI-85 calculator, and what little joy you have left, because I'm going to give you an algebra breakdown of the formulas. The tech points formula is as follows. Enemy total EXP times attack specific tech bonus equals tech points earned. For example, large body after rescue gives 180 EXP when defeated. Its stomach charge has a times 0.2 bonus. 180 times a fragmentary passage equals 36 tech points when parried. I mentioned this briefly in part 1, but I wanted Giamma try to dig a little deeper. Sora's damage formula is strength plus attack power minus enemy defense equals X. And that X is plugged into this. The enemy formula is the exact same. Enemy strength plus their attack specific power bonus minus target's defense equals X. Damage formula does its thing, and that's the damage Sora and Co take. And also on Proud it's times 2. Now, there are enemy specific damage floors and ceilings that come into play. Here's an example. Large body after rescue has 35 strength, and its jumping shockwave has an attack power of 6, which equals 41. If Sora then has 31 defense, we get X equals 10. And when 10 is put through the damage formula, it gives Sora 12 damage on beginner and normal difficulty, or 24 on Proud. As for the resist, if we toss on ribbon, we'll see that 12 get multiplied by 0.8, which is 9.6 rounded down to 9, then multiplied by the Proud modes 2 to get 18 damage. If you're curious, you're not, but I'll pretend, the arbitrary after rescue damage ceiling large bodies can do to Sora and Co is 14 on beginner and normal, 38 on Proud. And the damage floor is 4 on beginner and normal, then 8 on Proud. There's actually one additional multiplier to this formula that I won't be explaining at all. Because instead, I'm going to be giving you an example. On Destiny Islands, shadows always do 1 damage to Sora, and there's a reason for this. That secret damage multiplier we're calling enemy mod. For Destiny Island shadows, enemy mod is set to times 0.001, meaning no matter what you do, they will never do above 1 damage. Also, sort of related, but not really, Donald has times 0.8 resist to fire, blizzard, thunder, and dark damage, or takes 20% less damage than Sora, while Goofy takes times 1.5 to those damage types, 50% more than Sora. And also, you see these customizations? They have percents attached. Constantly is character will do action 100% of the time via a priority list, frequently is 80%, and occasionally is 6%. Big shout out to Gator Juke for that info. This was also in part 1, but I have to make a quick correction, courtesy of Gator Juke from the KH Speedrun Discord. I said the recoil formula was weapon recoil plus 40 versus enemy attack recoil. And that's wrong. It's actually just weapon recoil versus enemy attack recoil, no 40s involved, except when they are. Here's the kicker. As long as Sora and Co have a weapon recoil up to 40 or less than the enemy's attack recoil, then Sora gets the win state. For example, if Sora is using Kingdom Key, he has 30 recoil, and he can enter the win state from any enemy attack recoil from 30 to 70. Also 1 to 30, but that's obvious. But Sora will enter the lose state once the enemy recoil is 71 or above. And as a secondary correction, the win state is able to use counterattack, but also Sora can continue his combo as well. Yes, really. This formula is actually not too out there. As mentioned before, strength minus defense equals X for damage. Thrown objects like barrels, pots, jars, or crates just gives plus 8 before X goes into the formula. So for large bodies here, I have 40 strength, it has 27 defense. 40 minus 27 is 13, plus 8 is 21. Now as a fun fact, 13 in the damage formula becomes 20 damage, and that plus 8 is essentially the same as a quadruple damage bonus. 21 in the damage formula becomes 80 damage. But there is one I missed, pumpkin bombs, and they work exactly the same as the others, a flat +8. But the explosion adds 20 damage. So if I do 12 damage from the throw, the explosion causes the enemy to take 32 damage total. Giving large body a break, we're going to talk about parried projectiles. This formula is largely the same as the thrown objects formula. Structurally, it's just adding an additional value to X before it goes into the damage formula. It's just... Okay, here's the thing. Okay, are you ready for the thing? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Parried projectile AP is specific per projectile. So every projectile has a different bonus. Here's the master list because... Yeah, And for the record, it doesn't matter if you parry or guard, the formula is the same. But for Eroga, strength is replaced by the Eroga damage formula. Oh, and one more thing, there's a super niche instance that can happen, where if your strength is the inverse of the attack power, you do 0 damage. For example, if you have -20 strength against Ice Titan, the returned icicles will do 0 damage. Logistically shouldn't happen, but it totally does. Another shout out to Gator Juke for that info. Not to plug another video, but I did talk about this in my KH1 versus KHFM Awakening video, so I'll just give a brief overview here. It's based on enemy HP. If an enemy has 300 HP or more, we see enemy HP divided by 300 plus 4 times N equals the new damage floor. And in this case is 1 if Sword is a regular melee hit, and 2 if he does a standard melee finisher, aka damage storage. For example, Trickmaster has 600 HP. 600 divided by 300 is 2, 2 plus 4 is 6, so for regular hits, Trickmaster takes 6 damage, or from a finisher and magic damage storage, it's 12 damage. Unless, of course, Sora's strength or magic damage exceeds the EXP Zero formula, in which case it's ignored. This one is actually the same as the EXP Zero formula, except it multiplies in the enemy's stop resist. So if we hit Yuffie once and then cast Stop on her during the Hades Cup, her 450 HP will be divided by 300, which is 1.5. 1.5 plus 4 is 5.5. 5.5 times 0.2 is 1.1, meaning she'll be stopped for 1.1 seconds. And this will be consistent below 3 MP. But once we're at 4 MP or higher, it'll be void. However, if we do a finisher first, it becomes 2.2 seconds as long as we're 8 MP or lower. Okay, you might not have heard this term, and it's because it really only exists in the Ultimania, but basically, absorption is when you use a spell on an enemy of the same type. Like casting Fire on Red Nocturne or Blizzard on Blue Rhapsody. What it does is it heals the enemy, and the reason I'm adding this is because there actually is no calculation, and it's firmly just a max HP restoration. Using Cheat Engine, I took this Red Nocturne, I boosted it to 1800 max HP, and with one cast of a regular fire at 2 MP, it just fully healed. What's also interesting is this absorption aspect doesn't apply to parried projectiles. Okay, look, I know no one cares about the Gummi ship, but try. Here's the calc. Top speed of the fastest installed engine times horsepower of all the installed engines divided by the total number of Gummi blocks installed equals the speed value. So for the Fire Gummi, its top speed is 80 with 10 horsepower. And we'll use the Kingdom model as our example. Since it has 2 Fire Gummi equipped, we'll see 80 times 20, which is 1600. Then we divide that by the 39 installed blocks, which equals 41.025641. Except, of course it doesn't work that way, it has a speed floor. Each individual engine has a speed floor. The low speed of a fire gummy is 60, so 41.24601 or whatever it was rounds up to 60. If we had, say, only 18 blocks installed, 1600 divided by 18 would be 88.8 repeated. Except wrong again, because speed caps. Fire gummy caps at 80. Yay! And simply because I took the time to find out, Haste Gummy ignores caps and increases speed by 1.5 times your speed value. Haste 2 Gummy increases speed by about 2.3, and braking decreases speed by about 0.41. This is hardly a calculation, and I'm hardly French, but I'll still give you the way. That's how I got 3 kids. This formula is just adding all our block armor values together, which gets us our ship's HP. Using the Kingdom model again, there's 39 blocks used, and we reach an armor value of 394, but, and here's the weird thing, it rounds to the nearest multiple of 25, so 394 becomes 400. From testing, the HP floor is 200, and the HP cap is 2400. Doing damage with the Gummi ship, according to the Ultimania, is weapon power times difficulty mod equals damage, riveting stuff. The Thunder Gummi basic gun has 50 power times proud difficulty mod of 0.5, meaning we do 25 damage per shot. A Sylph ship has 50 HP, and 2 shots should destroy it. If this interests you, I'm amazed, you can continue to support me and my terrible jokes by joining my Patreon with these lovely folks. And if you'd like to learn the inner workings of KH1, check out part 1 in the cards. Have a great day. Goodbye!